Hey guys, it's Will here, back with another video. Today I've got an unboxing on the Samsung portable SSD T5 500GB. So let's get right into it. Okay, so on the back it says Samsung portable SSD T5 fast up to 545 megabytes a second, which is absolutely insane. But obviously you have to have the USB 3.1 Gen 2, like the MacBook Pro, the new ones, and some Razer laptops. And depends if you built a computer, if it has a USB-C, make sure to check if it has USB 3.1 Gen 2 so you can get the most out of this USB. So it's definitely very light, 51 grams, shock resistant, 2 meters, which is pretty good. You want something like this because of how much you're paying. You want something to be strong. Works on Windows, Mac, and Android, which is pretty good. I'm not sure about Apple phones. Even though it doesn't say here, it probably still will work, but I'm not 100% sure. So open it up. And there it is right there. Nothing in the box. And here's the Samsung T5. That is actually really nice. So in the bottom there's nothing, but there's the Samsung T5. So let's open that up. It's like a little lunchbox, and boom, right there. That is really nice. So let's pick it up. Ooh. It's really tight in there, and that is it. That is really small. Wow. Like, my hands aren't that big, but damn, these are tiny. So compared to a phone, it is tiny. This is iPhone 7, just a iPhone 7, so it's really, really small. Very compact, USB-C, USB 3.1 Gen 2, 10 gigabytes a second, but 540 megabytes. Obviously, it won't do the full 10 gigabytes. And here it is. Open this up. So some instruction thing, I don't know, maybe warranty, and instructions, I don't know, some documentation. And you get 2 cables, which is really nice because you get USB-C to USB-A, so if you're still on the old computers, so this can do 5 gigabytes a second. This is 3.1 or 3.0, depends if you can have that. If you don't, then obviously you can't use this 5 gigabytes a second. But I do recommend using the USB-C to USB-C because that's also what you're paying for. Like, why these cost so much, because they are extremely fast. This is a 500 gigabyte one SSD, and because you got the double USB-C, they do 10 gigabytes a second. This one only does 5, so it's not really, you're not getting your value out of your money. So definitely use the USB-C. So if you have a MacBook, the new MacBook Pros, definitely worth it. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick couple tests against this versus a USB 3.0 hard drive, HDD. So let's get right into that. Okay, so I just did a quick speed test on the Western Digital, just a 1 terabyte hard drive, and I was getting, with a 5 gigabyte stress test, I was getting 71.7 megabytes a second and 73.6 megabytes a second on read and write for 71. And you can see right here, so if you're editing straight off this USB for like YouTube or I don't know, for anything else, with this regular USB 3.0, it can edit up to 2K DCI 25, but for most people like 1080p 60 frames, which is pretty good. But this is only for ProRes 42 to 422 HQ, which is for like Macs. Now if you're in like DNG RAW or Cinema, like you can't do it. You have to go lower to 1080p 25 frames a second. It is good for a lot of people. If you're just using like an iPhone or something, yeah, this hard drive will be good enough to edit straight through it. But if you're recording for a DSLR or something, you want like this SSD, which will check the speed test now and see what it can handle through USB 3.0. We're going to be using the 3.0. So now we're going to be testing out the Samsung SSD T5, and we're going to use the USB A to USB C. So it's going to be a little bit slower, but we're just going to see how fast it would be for those who don't have the new MacBooks. 10 gigabytes a second 5 gigabytes a second, sorry. No, I mean 5 gigabyte stress test. Oh my god, guys, so as you can see right there, on write, we're getting 421.9 megabytes a second, even through USB-A, and read 425.1 megabytes a second. And as you can see right here, you can go right down to almost 4K, 60 frames a second. Like, it can almost do everything else. Like, it can do ProRes, which is what I use because I'm on Mac. We're going to be using the USB-C to USB-C. So let's see if how much faster. I'm guessing an extra 100 megabytes a second in speed. So let's check that out. Okay, so now we're going to do the 5 gigabytes a second again, but on the Samsung T5 with USB-C. So let's see the results now. Okay, so as you can see right here, so this is 479.5 megabytes a second on write, and read for 509 megabytes a second. A little bit slower than it said 540 they marketed it as, but still it's pretty close. And you can see right here we can add up to 4K 60 frames a second, pretty much the same things as before, but a little bit higher, just a tiny bit higher in score, which is still pretty good. I mean, 4K 60 frames a second, that's pretty good. Alright guys, so in conclusion, if you just want to store files, just regular files, and you just want to just maybe watch your videos, not really edit, or if you're editing maybe 1080p max, then this HDD is pretty good. But this is just good for like 1080p 60 frames per second. You can still edit in that on a Mac, and on this you can edit up to 4K, so depending on what you're doing and what you're recording. But if you're just using it just for storing files and you don't care about the speed, I would go for this. But if you definitely care about that speed and you want that extra power and something small and reliable, this is definitely worth it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to leave a thumbs up. Follow my social media right here. It's been your boy Will, and I'm out. Peace.